What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, friends? What's happening to everybody that's inside of the chat? What up to everybody that's tuned in from wherever you are? We here, man. We here, man. What up? Are y'all talking about Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens? Let me see what else y'all talking about inside of the chat. Y'all speaking to each other. Most states, I hate that most states have to show your face or publish your name. It makes you a walking target. Huh. What y'all got going on inside of the chat? Y'all talking about the lottery? Today is an excellent day to join the Bag Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. What up, Sheesh? Mrs. Amazing. Angie. Courtney Egger. Death Star. What up? Erratic Go. I like that name. Trees. Azriel. Purple Haze. Your car. A Done. What up? Self-Made Forever. Will Justino of NYC. Jay Ward. Phoenix. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up to everybody inside of the chat? Y'all got spoiled yesterday. See, that's why y'all pray for me. I'm on a Harley this weekend on the most dangerous roads in the USA. Pray for Mimi. What up, Mimi? Military that want to go home has already been proven to be propaganda again from the left. And the right out of Iran, so we get the hell out of there, clowns. What else y'all talking about? Every day we wake up is the lottery. That's a fact. All black everything. Yeah. It's Friday, so I'm taking it a little easy. Billy Ray Valentine. Rita told me you sent some dope merch. What up, AD? Put that pressure on him this morning. I'm chilling. I was night crawling yesterday. What up, though, new media? What's happening? Good morning, AD. What up to the chat? Please don't ride motorcycles, bro. I love motorcycles. Just got word from my father that someone robbed his residence while he was on vacation. Well, thank God he wasn't there. NYC in the building. What up, though? Pray for the soldiers jumping ship. I heard that was a woman that did that, too. We're going to get there. We're going to talk about it. How y'all feeling this morning, man? Mr. Lott says, what's good, bro? I plan on attending the CBO meeting for the Renaissance Center project next week. How do the meetings normally play out? Are they worth going to? Go see for yourself. You should go and check it out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it. I'm going to check it out this weekend. Billy Ray Valentine. Yeah, go check it out. I think it's going to be it's a lot of information that they present, and then they give people an opportunity to voice their opinions on what is happening, and they just like to get feedback from people that are participating in the process. So when is it exactly? Tell me when it is. I ran into somebody last night when I was out in the streets and stuff like that. I ran into somebody, and you know how people be surprised when they run into you? It's kind of one of those type of situations where it's like, oh man, yo, bro, you really doing it big type stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You don't even say appreciate it. You say I appreciate it. So it was cool. Running into people, kicking it with the people, inspiring the people. I can't go 5 feet. 5 feet without getting into some kind of conversation with somebody. So it was cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Seeing what y'all talking about inside of the chat. What's happening, chat? You know, I was thinking Cause I rewatched the show. Okay, I watched the show from what up to John Teal. I'm gonna read these cash apps shortly. I watched the show from Wednesday, yesterday, and I'm gonna watch the show from last night today. All right. Watch the show from Wednesday yesterday, and I'm watching the show from last night today. That makes sense, right? Makes sense. So, anyways, long story short, I watched the show from last night or from Wednesday, and you know what? I think that they're better off. I think that they do well without me. I don't think that they need me on Room 9. I think that they do really, really well on Room 9 amongst themselves. Shout out to my dog, Mr. Lotta. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog. What up to Miss Sanchez? Says, I woke up feeling like some things really need to be studied. Why you say that? Don't say that, Miss Sanchez. Don't say that, Miss Sanchez. I thank you for that, AD. You made a fool of me saying my girlfriend sing it. Oh, man. Oh, my God. That's because Miss Sanchez, I was talking to Miss Sanchez yesterday. When I was out in the streets, and so she was hearing everything that was going on. I was talking to Miss Sanchez for a little bit, just trying to figure out some stuff, figuring out a different show and all of this stuff that I'm working on. And so she got an opportunity to kind of see and hear what my life is like. And so now she I'll say this. The things that I tell y'all on the internet is a very small portion. Yo, I just started watching that show episode from a year ago or so ago today. Dog, stay on there. That's the best show ever with you. No BS. I share with y'all a very small portion of my life. A very small portion of my life. If y'all know what my life was really like in real life, y'all would be like, yeah, it really is a GTA server. My life is literally a GTA server, bro. At least get another guy on the show if you ain't gonna be on. Well, what other guy would y'all want? Some people say that it's better without me. I see some people saying Dean Murray just said it. See, look at Dean Murray. Dean Murray says, I think the night show is in good hands. The morning is where you reign supreme. I don't think any other morning show can touch you, including the syndicated morning shows. I'm about to put pressure on everybody in the mornings. I'm about to really go on a promotional run. Remember when I was telling y'all yesterday about marketing? It's about marketing. Listen, I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. I have the best show, the best morning show out here. There's no morning show better than mine. There's morning shows that do more views than me, but there is no morning show that is actually better than mine. Nobody can hold a 5+ hour live stream and give y'all the insight, give y'all the laughs, give y'all the pain, phone calls, all of that type of stuff. Nobody, and I mean nobody. Like I said, there's shows that put more money into their marketing. There's shows that do more campaigning. There's shows that all of that type of stuff. But no show is better than the Millionaire Morning Show. None. Zero. I don't care who you talk to. I don't care what podcast you watch. Zero shows, especially in the morning time, is as good as what I do. So now is really just a figuring out of marketing. It's all about marketing now. That's the honest to God truth. Like, there's shows that are bigger because they're better marketed, because And I talked about that last night, but ain't nobody messing with me, bro. New Tech Media says, I was a part of the Russ Parr Morning Show for years, dog. You killing it. I'm telling you, bro. Seriously. Seriously. There is nothing. Not, bro, I tell y'all what. I'm so confident in what I do. I think that I'm going to take a day off one of these days upcoming. Maybe next week, maybe the week after or something. And when I take that day off, the day before, I'm going to tell you I'm going to take a day off. I want you the next day to go and watch something else live in the morning and tell me that it's better than me. I'm going to take a day off upcoming, sometime in probably late August, early September. And I'm going to tell y'all and I'm going to say, listen, go and watch something else. And I'm so confident in what we do here that I want you to go and check something else out while I'm not live and then tell me what the difference, show me what the gap is. Tell me how much better they are than me. Shout out to my people up in Northern Michigan. Says Northern Michigan here. Always watch a show I enjoy. You always cover something different and don't stick to one constant drum. Thank you. Yeah. A Dunn says with Anton missed last Friday, Saturday, that hurt. Seriously. I'm telling. Listen. Shout out to my dog CGA. Nobody, and I mean nobody is messing with me. Nobody. Let me go and see what's out there right now. Let me see what's out in the streets. I don't know. My algorithm might be a little bit different, so let me see what's happening. Uh, Fridays I like to freestyle time right a little bit. Is let me go to live. What's live right now? Ain't nothing messing with me, bro. Honestly. Somebody talking about sneakers. Yeah, I just need to promote more. That's all. That's what I need to do. I'm gonna market more. I'm gonna promote more. I'm gonna get it popping. And I'm not gonna pull nothing up on here because I don't want to promote anything. I don't want to promote other people's stuff, but yep. Yep. Let me ask y'all another question really quickly. Should I need to get on Spotify and I need to get on Apple too. But again, that's a whole nother conversation. I got some questions though. I do have a couple questions before we get started with the show for real, for real. Can you do it live? Oh, hold on. Let me see something. The Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson debate is happening today at 11 a.m. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Hold on. Let me just fix something really quickly. Maybe we'll do a live watch party. How long is this debate supposed to be for? Drop that, drop that. How long is this debate supposed to be for? It's supposed to be for 2 hours? All right, so somebody said it's unlimited. All right, so I got questions. I have questions for y'all. My question is this: should we do a watch party today, or should we do our regular thing and just say skip what everybody else is talking about? It's supposed to be for 3 hours. Candace does have the most motion on the internet. Let me see what y'all talking about inside of the chat, and that's gonna determine what we do today. Somebody said, yeah, live watch party. Rather hear you cover the topics. We don't want to see that. Yes. Do I need to put something in the chat? Do I have to put a poll in the chat? Let me put a poll in the chat.
Okay, hold on. I just want to make sure I understand this. You go to
I'm gonna put a poll in the chat, see what y'all talking about. Cause I got an idea. All right, I just dropped the poll in the chat. Let me see what y'all doing. I know what I want to do. I'm gonna tell y'all what I want to do, but I want to get y'all feedback too. All right, so while y'all vote on that, I'll give y'all a few minutes to vote on that. In the meantime, let me tell y'all about my night last night. So, nah, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not telling y'all about my night. Y'all don't appreciate it. Y'all don't appreciate it. Y'all don't appreciate it. Let me call Miss Sanchez, see what she talking about. While y'all vote, and then we gonna do, I got an idea of what I'm gonna do. What up?
No, nothing.
How you feeling?
Wonderful.
Why
How
you
you feeling?
what need to be studied?
You know what needs to be studied. I
What?
don't want to put it. If you want me to say, I'll say. But
You
you
can
know
say
what
whatever
needs
you
to
want to
be.
say. I don't have no secrets.
These thirsty females need to be studied.
What are you talking about?
You driving around in that blue thing needs to be studied.
I got it on my right there and my thing now.
The amount of people that stopped him, y'all, last night was insane.
That's not true. I
Well,
that's just because I love my city.
and they love that car too, and you too. But still, I was like, Jesus, it needs to be studied.
I love my city, and so when I go outside, they show me love. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
We go and we
Can I
donate
get
to
a ride?
we we go and we donate to the people, and we look out for the people in the streets.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. That's a blessing that you're able to do that. It still needs to be studied. You need a camera crew to follow you just for 24 hours.
Nah, they don't want to. They can't see that. That would be
Uncut and raw.
They can't see that. That would be a problem. Honest to God, I would never show that.
Put it in your Patreon. Make it exclusive. I don't know. I think people would get clicks and views. It would really get clicks and views. You'll have them talking for real. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to give them that type of the visibility. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I was telling people. I said, what my life is like in real. Like I really tone it down when I'm online as far as the type of stories that I tell and stuff like that. And I was also saying that I don't believe when people say, "Oh man, it's hard for guys," or women don't approach men, or like
it's a lie.
I don't believe that. I've never ever experienced that it was difficult for relationships when you go outside. If you're the type of person that only send DMs, or you only on the internet, or you only what I'm saying, listen to what people are saying, that oh man, that's why I like when people be on the panels and I be like, listen, I know y'all citing these statistics. I know that y'all say, oh man, 80% or this and that, whatever. I don't believe that. I genuinely don't. When I go outside, and it don't matter if I'm in DC, it don't matter if I'm in Detroit, it don't matter if I'm in Biloxi, it don't matter if you're in LA. There is no problems from people, in my opinion, or from what I see, my experience. I don't see it being a problem for people being able to interact if they want to kick it with people in real life. I don't see that at all.
That is true. Because, I mean, and females act like they want to approach a guy because it's just beneath them. But that's a lie. If I see somebody that's handsome, I'm approaching. What's up? I'm not going to run to their car asking for a ride. But I'm definitely going to be like, you look nice, and, do a smooth little walk off. And he going to come after. But, yeah.
I don't believe these dudes on the internet no more. Like, I genuinely, I never believed them. But the thing about it was that I've always tried to figure out, where are y'all getting these statistics from? Where are y'all getting these experiences from? Who is having these type of experiences where, oh man, you having these much trouble, and I ain't going for it. Like, I don't.
It's the
in
ones
real
that ain't
life,
got the motion and the swag, Anton. It's the ones that ain't got the motion and the swag, and they really ain't leaving their house. Those are the ones.
I don't know, man. It's like, seriously, like, it is. I have never seen it not be a thing unless everybody was just in the house on a pandemic type shit. But even with that, like, when you go to Miami, I went to Miami, I stayed in Miami. It wasn't no problems, wasn't no shortage. You ain't have to have no big car in order to interact with a chick or nothing like that. Like, you could be walking. I ain't never seen. So I be trying to figure out where y'all getting these statistics. Who is doing these polls? Who knows who's having sex with who? Because I don't believe it. I'm never ever believing these talking points on the internet. I want people to substantiate their argument based off of some real, not real data, but just like real conversations. I want to have real conversations. I don't want to hear these internet talking points no more. That's why I'm not. Slimmy, you think I should? I'm doing a poll right now, Slimmy, to see if I should do the debate, if I should live stream the debate.
I think you need to do a street study. Go out there and really talk to the people, females and males, and see what they're saying.
I might do that today. I might grab the camera. And I'm not going to do it to where, like, hey, this is what my life is like. I think I'm going to grab the camera and I'm going to have a conversation with people on the street. Because I want to know what people on the street in real life is really saying. I don't want to hear these internet talking points no more. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what women really think, what guys really think. That's what I'm doing tonight. I'm hitting the streets tonight.
I like it.
I'm hitting the streets tonight. Because I see too much. I see what's really happening. And when I say, yo, I'm in the streets every day in every city that I go to or whatever, I have a different experience than these people that keep sitting on these panels giving these talking points.
Somebody in your chat said send a woman out. That's easy though. We always get approached.
I don't go up to women, but I talk to women every day. You seen it. You seen it in real time. I don't go up to I never go up to a woman ever.
I definitely saw it. He is not lying.
That's why I don't believe these people. They keep telling you, oh, you gotta be 6'7" and you gotta have these super abs. Bullshit. It's Friday, so we just gonna talk candidly. Bullshit, bro. Bullshit in every single way, form. That's a lie. All women in all cities are participating. They going. They're going. They're going. It's a lie. You ain't got to wear no flashy jewelry. You ain't got to do all of that stuff. That's the biggest lie going on the internet today. Is that you got to have all of this shit. You got to have all of this stuff. Yeah, you got to be groomed. Yeah, you got to be able to talk a little bit and have a conversation. But that's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. Have a little swag and they coming.
It don't matter what city you in.
So I don't know. You might need to see what it's like in Kansas City, see if they do it to you like that out here.
I'll go to any city. It don't make no difference. You listen. My philosophy is this: you're you regardless of where you go. Wherever you go, you taking you with you. It don't matter what city you in. It's the same thing everywhere.
You know, I was saying that just to get you out here, but But I agree with you.
Or maybe get you out here. All right, let me do this show. Let me do this show.
All right. Bye, y'all.
All right, see y'all. People be, man, listen, y'all. Y'all gotta stop letting these. Y'all have to stop letting these people trick y'all and shoot y'all confidence down, bro. Somebody said drive around in 2016. I don't, bro, listen. I don't care what I drive. It doesn't matter. What you think that I got a Lambo when I'm in DC? You think that I got the Lambo when I'm down in Dallas? You think that I got the Lambo? I don't even drive the Lambo most of the time. My Lambo be in the shop for 3 weeks at a time. It don't matter what car you in, bro. I take public transportation most of the time. I walk to most of the places that I go in the city. Y'all, listen, stop letting people give you an excuse on why you should not be outside and active. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. Stop letting people shoot y'all confidence down and think that you not gonna be. Most of the time, it's saying, man, honest to God, I'm about to do the. Somebody said you ain't cracked no holes. Of course I haven't. I'm married. I don't do anything. Another Maddie in the chat. Listen, if you get to 40 and 44 years old and you still talking about how many holes you cracked, you got arrested development and you got another problem on your hands. I don't think that guys that's past the age of 30 should be naming names and talking about the holes that they cracked anyway. You can talk about your experience of interacting with people. You can talk about your experience and whether or not whether or not women are participating or whatever in a general sense. But if you a grown man talking about if you didn't crack the holes or not, I think you a sucker. So you the sucker for even typing that in the chat. You the cornball. Type something in the chat, Miss Sanchez, so I can give you a wrench. You the cornball for even saying that. Yeah, man, but did you crack any holes? Why would you say that? Why was somebody even? Why are you talking about who you didn't crack? Why are you being? I know it's sometimes it's some. Usually it's niggas ain't got no profile picture, all of that type of stuff. So, but again, I don't pay attention to that. I don't get into all of that. I just keep it chill. Say something in the chat, Miss Sanchez, so I can give you a moderator badge real quick. Niggas is talking. Hey, yeah, man, but do you crack any holes? No, I don't. Why would I? I'm married for 22 years. That's stupid. What are you, 13? Let me see what the polls say. It's 50-50 right now. Some people are saying regular show. It's literally 50-50. Not 51, 441 votes, not or 442 votes. It's 50-50. So y'all gonna have to tell me what's going on. All right, let me give you a badge real quick. When I go out into the streets, I spend the majority of the time actually helping homeless people, to be honest with you, bro. And then I just be interacting with people in general. Imagine AD on the bus in Detroit today. I take the bus in Detroit about 3 or 4 times a week. It literally says 50-50, y'all. I ain't even gonna cap. It's not changing no matter how many votes come up. It says 50-50. Y'all can see it right there. So, Slimmy, facts. That is the facts. That is the facts. That's the facts. That's the facts. People don't have no clue of what people's lives is like outside. They just be talking. They just be talking. All right. Anyway, so this is what we gonna do. This is what we gonna do. Everybody, um, and if y'all met me in person, y'all would love me anyway. Nobody that meets me in person, nobody that kicks it with me in person, would ever say that. They would never say that to me in person at all. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Anybody that didn't ever interacted with me in person, anybody that didn't walked around with me downtown in a mall or anything, they would never come to that conclusion in person. So we don't even have to have that conversation. Um, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. All right. I am not going to do a watch party. And the reason why I'm not going to do a watch party, if y'all would have said, if it wasn't 50-50, you met me in person, done. If it wasn't 50-50, I would do whatever it is that the chat has said. But since I'm the deciding vote, you smell me in person? Yeah. Since I'm the deciding vote, I am not going to do a watch party. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm not sheep. I don't want to be like everybody else right now. I think that everybody is clout chasing, doing a watch party just to try to get views. I don't really care about trying to get views like that. And I don't think that I think that we do whatever the fuck we want to do. We don't have to do what everybody else do. I don't blame y'all. I don't blame y'all if y'all decide, yo, Anton, I don't want to watch the show today because I want to go watch the Candace Owens debate. I think that that's cool. I don't have no problem with that. And I ain't tripping if you decide, hey, I'm about to go watch the Candace Owens debate. I don't have no problem with that. We all sitting there watching the same thing, 100 different channels is all doing the same thing. I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I want to do what I want to do. I don't blame anybody if they decide that they want to go and tune into the other 100 channels and they want to watch the debate. I'm just really not. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is another reason why I'm not doing it. I'm just genuinely not interested in Candace Owens versus Andrew Wilson. I'm really not genuinely not interested in talking about Charlie Kirk anymore. I believe in letting the dead bury the dead. I think that is disrespectful to talk about somebody's dead spouse and have a whole debate over it, and their widow is still alive, regardless of what you may think about um, Erica Kirk. Some people like her, some people hate her, but at the same time, she's still a widow. And so, if they were debating about something that was more meaningful that can add value into society, then I think that that would be something that I'm interested in covering. I'm not interested in talking about somebody's dead spouse, and that's why I don't talk about Charlie Kirk anymore. I covered it when it happened because it was breaking news, and I didn't cover it anymore. I kind of let it go. Outside of covering people getting fired for saying egregious things about it, I'm just not interested in covering somebody debating over somebody else's dead spouse while their widow is still alive. That makes no sense to me. I think it's something that people keep talking about because maybe they don't want to step out away from that popular topic, and I think that that's beating a dead horse. That man been passed away for a long time now. That man, whatever is going on, is between him and his family. In my opinion, I don't. I'm not talking about that. Personally, I think we have more meaningful things that we need to cover. I think that we can cover. I want to talk about the kids not being able to read in high school. I think that's important. I want to talk about the budget over in Minneapolis and how they going broke. I want to talk about the Lakers and the fraud that's coming along with them selling that franchise and what that's really happening. I want to talk about the soldier, the woman that jumped off of the the um the boat because they've been out at sea almost more than 250 days. I want to talk about stuff that's more meaningful. And if that causes me to get less views, then I'm cool with that. I ain't gonna trip about it. I want to deep dive into more conversations. If you notice, I'm starting to produce conversations that are less about men and women, even on Room Nine. And I'm having. I mean, I'm gonna throw the popular culture stuff in there, but I want to talk about take. Why are we not talking about Tasia Fortune? If black people cared so much about what's going on in Mississippi, how come that's not a topic of conversation about what really happened to Tasia Fortune? Why are we still talking about Charlie Kirk? What is that gonna do? Why are we talking about Tyler Robinson? That don't do nothing for me. That don't do that. That don't help us. That's and I'm telling you my authentic thoughts. That does not add any value for me personally. So again, I'm not blaming y'all if y'all want to go and watch the debate and y'all want to take this Friday off and y'all want to go and tune in to see Patrick Bet David moderate Candace Owens and Andrew Wilson. That's cool. It's a free country. We have the freedom to be able to choose what you want to watch. So I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna cover some other stuff. And if that causes me to get less views, I'm all right with that. All right. We've been evolving over a room now, so we've been tapering off. Unless it's somebody that say something like Slimmy had dropped in a group chat yesterday about domestic. Would it be considered like if a guy wind up ejaculating inside of a woman when he said that he wasn't? So I take suggestions out of the group chat when people talk about, you know what I'm saying, when they put stuff in there and they say this would be an interesting conversation. Cool, I add that in there. The surrogate conversation. I want to talk about the surrogate conversation. All right. All right, y'all. Slimmy, if they were talking about something that was actually meaningful, right? If they were debating something that was meaningful, I would probably cover it. I don't want to talk about Charlie Kirk, bro. I'm just not interested. It's not my thing. I didn't even add it into my title. I didn't add no Candace Owens, no Charlie Kirk, no none of that stuff. I don't care. So, anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. If you really rocking with the real, then make sure you tap into the Patreon. A lot of my friends is gonna be. I ain't even gonna tell y'all who gonna be at the Dallas meetup. My friends is coming to the Dallas meetup. My friends is coming to the Dallas meetup. All right. So it's gonna be fun. Let me know inside of the Patreon if you're gonna be there on the post, in the comments, and tell me if you're gonna bring a +1. Somebody said the widow might have something to do with it. I don't care. Bro, I've never met these people in my life. I've never met Erica Kirk. I've never met Charlie Kirk. I've never met Andrew Wilson. I've never met Candace Owens. I genuinely don't care. I care about the people on my own streets. I'm out in the streets every night that I'm here feeding the streets. I care about people that's on my own streets. People that I actually can help in real life. I genuinely don't care. I don't care. Let me read some of y'all super chats and then we're gonna go ahead and get it popping. Shout out to my girl Nick, says, good morning. I'll be 49 next week. Hey man, let me give a round of applause for that. Now, what should I do, chat? Come to Dallas. Come hang out with us. Come to Dallas. What up to my dog, Nefarious Plotter, in the building? 20 balls, super sticker. I appreciate you. Dress Christian Black, I appreciate you for holding me down for the 10 ball. Harold Burns says, but did you open the gift I sent? I'm going to get it all this weekend from the spot. All right. I've been in the city. I've been in the streets doing things. It's the Shy Guy says, 80, the mayor of Seattle is getting recalled for her failure to handle crime at city funds. Yeah, I covered it yesterday. I chop it up and throw it in the clip of this weekend. Protein Savage says, Friday, we making it through another week. Hey, man, thank God it's Friday, bro. Let me give us a round of applause. It's been a long week, man. It's been a long week. Round of applause for everybody that made it through Friday. They talked about this supposedly last night. I didn't get a chance to see it yet. I'm going to rewatch it later on today. But I want to cover this conversation, all right? This man is apparently feeling some type of way about kids not being able to read.
So I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects that need it. And so I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had
It's
the
what many
problem.
thought.
And they couldn't do it. I don't know. I simply don't know where the problem is. This is only day 2. And I have seniors who simply cannot read and seniors who cannot write. They cannot write. They can reason. They have the ability to defend their reasoning if it's talking to their homeboy, but applying that to a written text, 2 paragraphs, and they couldn't do it. Our young black men, our young brown men, our young black girls, and our young brown girls oh, God.
So let me tell you what my thoughts are about this. I think that this is, if we want to talk about what's wrong in the culture and what's wrong with the community, then we have to start here. The number one thing that drives you out of poverty, that can allow for you to really be able to do some transformational things in life. And I know that we don't like to talk about it because it forces us to do something that we're uncomfortable with, is education. It's education. You know how I know that we don't care about our culture and our community? It's not just about what happens in Chicago. It's not just about whether or not we, are covering the subjects and what Al Sharpton and Ben Crump comes to have a conversation about. It's not just the think pieces. It's not just baby mama culture. It's not just whether or not family court law. The way that I genuinely know, if you want to know if somebody is living their life the way that they supposed to live their life, all you got to do is check out what their children are like. If you want to know the success of a culture, it's not even about whether or not the men is there and present, and if the women are with the men that they supposed to be with. All you got to do is look at their children. I can tell if somebody got their life together if their children is what they are supposed to be. And I know that you may have a bad apple or a bad seed here and there, but when there's a consistent pattern of illiteracy, then I can tell that everything is messed up. Now, we're going to have a lot of people blame it on a lot of different things. Some people are going to blame it on the system, the white man, right? Some people are going to blame it on the teachers. Some people are going to blame it on the parents. I blame it on the culture. This is why I say that the culture is trash, because the things that we focus on and the things that we celebrate. I was a very, very smart kid. A very smart kid. But I was raised in the hood, right? People tell me that I had privilege because I had 2 parents inside of my life. When the teachers started to call my parents and say, yo, Anton, and this is in the 6th grade, Anton is starting to get into things that he's not supposed to get into, they immediately cancel any purchases that they were going to have. And not only did they do it for me, they did it for my youngest brother too. When they said, all right, we taking him out too, because he's 6 years younger than you and he might follow in the same pathways. And so what we gonna do is we gonna pivot. Every time that they seen something happening that wasn't supposed to happen, they pivoted. They put me in a different school. They made sure that I was in an environment, even though we lived in a hood, they made sure that they made the sacrifice to send me to a school to change the trajectory of my life, right? They focused, they poured into us. They made sacrifices. They didn't go and buy new cars. They put it into our education, right? And so those things changed my life. It changed how I seen everything. I looked at everything because I had a bigger lens to compare it to. I'm using myself as an example to illustrate a point. We are the product and the reflection of what our parents put into us. Somebody said Darius Cooks, which is the guy right here, is a scam artist, been sued for stealing recipes in his books. He scammed people into fixing people credit, and he got sued for over $195,000 in Atlanta. He's a fraud, bro. Has nothing to do with whether or not the children can read or not. We're not talking about his personal finances. We're not talking about whether or not, he's what he's doing in Atlanta. Again, let's separate the person and how you feel about them, and let's stop trying to distract ourselves from the subject at hand. Is what he's saying true or not? Yes, it is absolutely true. Do you know how I know that it's true? Because I go and speak inside of the schools. It is in the hood. It is right there in the hood. You know the school that I went to. Is what he's saying true or not? I don't care about whether or not we're not talking about finances. We're not talking about whether or not you should buy a course from him or not. We're talking about if the children can read or not. Why do we do that? Why do we try to distract away from the conversation that's being had by trying to destroy somebody's credibility when that has no impact on what we're talking about right now? Kids have summer school. Some kids in some states and some cities have already started school. I know that for a fact because I have people that are out of town that have children that have already started school. There's a lot of people that graduate from high school. My brothers had a friend. Shout out to Warren.
Yo, what up?
Yo, I'm on a live stream. You busy?
No, not really.
You remember Warren?
Yes.
Was that you when he tried to get a job?
Oh man, yeah, that was kind of sad, but yeah, I remember that.
Tell me about that.
It was nothing. I mean, so we was at some kind of restaurant, and we so happened to see Warren up there, and he was filling out an application, and we came over. Hey, what's up, Warren? How you doing? Like, small talk. And we like, so what's going on? He's like, nothing, just up here filling out an application. So I was like, okay. And I just so happened to look over, and it asked for his social security number. And all he put down was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was just some random numbers. I said, Warren, what are you doing? He was like, man, I don't know what a social security number is. I'm like, what? So we kind of helped him fill out his application, but yeah.
Could Warren read?
I don't know. I really couldn't. I don't want to lie on him or nothing, but I don't know if he could read or not. But he didn't know how to fill out an application. I know that.
And he was incredibly talented too.
Oh, he was talent. He was smart. He was a wise guy, but he just, I don't know. Yeah, he had, like, you know how it is in the hood where if you're not, if you don't have the right upbringing, then you just fall into the influence of the hood. So
how old was he at the time? How old was he at the time?
He had to be about in his early 20s. Yeah, he had to be in his early. He was in his early 20s.
All right, I appreciate you, bro.
No problem.
I'm telling you, and that's why I like to make phone calls on the spot, so y'all don't say, "Oh man, he's making it up" and all of this other type of stuff. No, I'm gonna get a witness. I'm gonna get confirmation. I'm telling you that most of the people that graduated with my brothers, people that are in the hood, people that got parents in their life, people that are wise, have talent, can do a lot of different things. When you narrow it down, and it doesn't matter about whether or not he's a certified teacher or not, bro, we can tell whether or not you can read. I remember being in school sometimes and people would be sweating like bullets. People would be sweating like bullets when a teacher would call on them and say, "Okay, such and such, stand up, read this, read that." People was all of the jokes, all of the class clown, all of that stuff would go out the window. Go out the window. All of the little, and what we realized in hindsight, looking back, was the reason why people would be class clowns. The reason why people would be doing extra stuff is because they would do it as a distraction from the things that they couldn't do because they couldn't read. A lot of people that are always deflecting, a lot of people that's always telling the jokes, he the funny guy, he doing this, he doing that, they're doing it as a defense mechanism. They not, a lot of times they're not doing that because, oh, that's just who they are. No, they doing it either for attention or to draw attention away from the thing that they don't do well. And instead of us being able to identify that, which is your parents' job, right? You're supposed to be able to identify that and address it. Identify it and address it immediately. We just go ahead and we be their friend. Or nowadays they say, oh, they slow, or they got a, back in the day it used to be called an LD, learning disability. All they this, say that, oh, they got ADHD, oh, they don't read well. No, that's not true. Oh man, I don't like math because you ain't been told and forced to sit down and do math. You're not retarded. You're not dumb. You don't not know no better. You're not stupid. You know how to do stuff, but you haven't been forced. You haven't been put in a situation where you don't have no other choice. And so what we've been able to do in this country for a lot of us is we've been able to subsidize it, because as long as you're able to get along, or as long as you're able to survive long enough with it, then all of a sudden then we just gonna let it rock. We're gonna let it rock. The teachers have become overglorified babysitters because the parents are sending the kids to school and the parents are cuss out the teachers. It used to be where the teachers could work with the parents and say, "Hey, listen, this is what's going on." Man, my daughter knew if I got a bad report, I had got something from my I remember one time I had got something from a teacher, and they said, "Yeah, Leslie's mouth was a little poppy today. That ain't usually who she is." Who? Who? Leslie, my daughter? Popping off at the what? At the mouth? I got you. Give me a second. What? Hey, I'm in the car immediately. Hey, so the teacher, Miss Such and Such, was telling me that you was getting a little mouthy. We dealing with that immediately. Immediately. And I will come up to your school. I will address it, because we don't disrespect adults. We don't disrespect teachers. This person is in there giving you an education. You got the nerve to say something mouth. What do you think? You think you but them? You think you them other kids who you done forgot who your parents is? Give me them keys, first of all. Give me them keys. Yeah. You taking a school bus. And if I hear about it again, get the strap. I'm not playing no games with you. But see, we don't have them type of parents no more. Everybody want to be friends. The mama is smoking with the kids. The kids is getting pregnant. There is no expectation anymore. We don't even expect our kids to go to college. If we do send them to college, we sending them to school with a bunch of school debt. That's what the culture is now. That is what the culture is now. We sending them to college with school debt, illiterate. Now they got to take a bunch of classes that don't even count towards their major because they got to take classes that are remedial to get them up to the point to where they actually can start getting credit. So now they're taking out student loans for classes that they don't get credit for because we have to go back and bring them up to a speed to where they can actually start taking the regular classes. This is what happens in the culture. The parents can't read either, but they having children. So when your kid come home from school, you can't help them. You can't help them. They know that the parents can't read, so they're not even looking to you for help. They basically got to grow up too fast. They can't even be children because their parents ain't even adults. And then adults are blaming on the teachers. That's your kid. That's your kid. After graduation, whenever it's done, the kid is still yours even after they leave this school. That's your kid. That's your kid. I believe that one of the, and this is my personal belief, and y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. You agree, you disagree, you know me, we ain't no echo chamber, so we gonna get it in. I believe that one of the ways in which we are judged by God is not only how we treat people on this earth, but also the children that we release into the world. I believe it in my core. When the word of God says that we are to leave an inheritance for our children, I take that literally. When the word of God says to put it in them young and it'll never depart from them, I took that literally. When I say that you have to be a reflection of what you would want your daughter to marry and what you would want your sons to grow up like, I take that literally. When I look at the overall landscape of what we are dealing with as far as our children in this culture, it saddens me. It does. It saddens me. The one thing that you may not necessarily like some of my talking points. You may not necessarily like that I'm Republican. You may not necessarily like that, how I talk about or when I reference women. You may not necessarily care for the car I drive, but the one thing that you can never, ever, indisputable, women, men, Republican, Democrat, tall, old, young, whatever, you cannot say that I am not a good father. Of all the things that I've accomplished in my life and all the things that I want to be accountable for, the one thing that I took more serious than any other thing in this world is that if I'm going to create something and bring it into this world, I'm going to raise them right. I'm going to give them everything that they need to be successful. And I'm going to be 100% accountable for the child that I brought into this world. Good or bad or indifferent, judge me based off of whether or not I raise my child the right way. I don't care how bad you are. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care what kind of car you drive. If your kid is demonic, that is a reflection of who you are and the effort and the dedication that you had to your children. If you can't even put in your children, if you can't hold down something that came out of your womb or somebody that you created, nigga, what makes you think that you're going to be any loyal to me or you going to hold me down? You don't even like your own kid. You don't even like your own child. You can't help them. How you gonna help me? You can't help me. You can't hold me down. When I I know the Maddie's gonna get mad at this, but you know me, I don't care. When I see guys that tell me and make every excuse in the world on why they can't, why they just, you know what, I ain't gonna, I don't care nothing about it. Listen, I'll make another kid. Sir, what? You make a who? Nigga, I die for my kid. What do you mean you just make another one? So that's just it, huh? So you just creating whole human beings out here and you just like, well, skip it. Not a big deal. I'm mad at the mama or the mama is giving me a headache. So F the kid. And then you go have another one. And if you mess that up, I'm going to have another one. What we doing? I don't care who you buzz down. But if you just creating whole human beings out here and they just running around and killing people, that's a problem for me. That's why whenever I see something happen, oh, they say it, Eric D. Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. And then let me tell you what they say. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Let me tell you what they say. Then they say, you know what? And when the kid grow up, hopefully they come and find me and I can explain to them how, you know, what their mama was really like. Nigga, what? What kind of... When they grow up, when they come to me, hopefully I'll explain to them what they... I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I honestly, it makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me at all. At all. And let me just say this one last thing and then we can get over to the next subject. When y'all raising y'all kids, let's not only, because a lot of times people say, or they put into it because they want their kid to be successful. Cool. They want their kid to be successful. Cool. They want their kid to be successful. Oh man, my kid can do this. Oh man, my kid can do that. Oh, my kid can do this. Along with whether or not they can make money, can we put into our kids some good character? I get it. They can speak another language. I get it. They can pick up a basketball. I get it. They could, you know, they talented or whatever you nurturing is. Can we put into them some character too? On top of that, can we help them to be good people? Can we take them out to do some volunteer work? Can we show them the difference between right and wrong? Can we give them a little bit of spirituality so that they're not just completely out here without Jesus, without any kind of spiritual growth? Can we also add that into the equation along with whether or not they graduated? Oh man, my kid graduated with honors, but are they a good person? Can we throw that in there too? Do they are they a demon or no? Can we throw a little bit of character development? Can we take our kids to church? Maybe that'll help you get closer to Jesus because you know that your kid needs some spiritual development. We throw that in there a little bit too. Just throw a little bit of character development. Voila. Don't keep on telling me about how your kid graduated or what school they go to. I would also like to know, if you just so happen to want to talk about your kid, How nice are they? Are they respectful to adults? I don't want to know whether or not your kid is like white girls or black. I don't care about that. I want to know whether or not they racist. Did you put into them whether or not they can run into the Victim Olympics? Did you tell them that all white people are evil? Are they growing up talking about how the system is against them? What about that part? Did they grab that part from you where they see your racist ways and how ugly you are towards people? Can we sprinkle a little bit of that inside of the gumbo and have a conversation about that also? Did you put into them something that they never experienced before? Yeah, man, be careful of these white people. And then they run into another kid that ain't never did nothing to nobody and they just so happen to be white or they just so happen to be Asian. And next thing you know, they saying, yeah, man, because you racist. What? Always telling me about how accomplished your kid is. Man, I don't give a fuck about accomplishments. The number one thing that I want my kid to be, I didn't put into my kid, hey, listen, you got to make all of this money. You need to do this, you need to do that. I didn't put that into my kid. What I put into my kid was, how are you treating people and are you a nice person and are you generous to other people? Are you thoughtful? Are you picking your friends based off of their status or are you picking your friends based off of their morals and their compass? I don't care about money. I don't care about that's a tool. Money is just a tool. God is not going to judge you based off of how much money your kid got. It's a nice to have, but can they handle it when they get it? Because when they get it, do they then become Jeffrey Epstein? Because just because you're successful don't mean that you're a good person. Do you go out and help people? When somebody asks you for something, do you turn your back on them and turn your nose up at them? I don't want you to be in the position just because you have the acumen. I want you to have the moral compass to not do things that you're not supposed to do once you get in the position because with greater power comes greater responsibility. That's why he said, be faithful in little one and I'll make you ruler over much. Are they a thief? Throw some character and morals in it outside of just dribbling a basketball, bro. And then we put all of our trauma into our children and they don't even know nothing. And so they wake up and they just hate women because you hate their mama. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats and see what y'all talking about inside of the chat. When you come into the West, Vegas, Cali, Arizona. October, probably. Or no. Probably October, November. October, November. I'm finishing up these projects and then I'm hitting the streets, bro. I'm traveling everywhere. I'm out west. I'm out west October, November, bro. Real talk. I to God. I've never been to Arizona before, Nick. Shout out to Nick. I appreciate you. Sly White in the building says it's the parents' fault, point blank, period. I agree. Chris Park says, do you use a CRM for your content business? Did you have to use one of your previous sales roles? And would you build a sales teams for your business now? I would build a sales teams for my business now. No, I didn't have to do it for my business. Honestly, let me tell you something, Chris Parks. I think that people overthink process and they don't spend enough time actually engaging. People overthink process And let me get this video together too. People overthink process. And they don't spend enough time. Process comes as a result of building and growth. Like when you're having growing problems, when the business is growing faster than you can manage it, that's when you start wanting to have a conversation about process. People are putting in a process and they don't have any business. And the only reason that I will build a sales team now when it comes to content creation is because now I have the numbers business wide to substantiate why people will want to do, when they want to do business with me. So now I can put people in place to pitch because we got a pitch deck, because we got numbers, right? And so you want to start talking about customer service, you want to start talking about process, you want to start talking about the process from start to finish on getting the customer and keeping them inside of the pipeline, all of that type of stuff. But you need to be building your business, then you can start building the relationships. I was more concerned about getting the sale than I was about building a relationship. Later, the relationship came after I learned how to do sales. Rob Witcher says, shout out to the Persian Dope Boys class of 2011. We did the best we could with hardly nothing and still persevered. Hard time makes stronger minds. Shout out to everybody that was out there in Persian. I actually export Persian. Let me see something. Oh, I didn't do Persian. Which ones did I do? I didn't do Persian. I did let me look. Nope, I never explored Persian. I explored Southwestern. I explored a lot of different I never explored Persian. Shout out to the Doughboys. That's a heck of a name. Y'all had a lot of good players that came out of there. Sad part is a lot of parents can't read and do math neither. I agree. Shout out to you. I appreciate you for the 10 ball, big dog. Shout out to Makati. More Than Mellow says you will be judged by your fruits. That's a fact. And it's not just the fruits of whether or not you was productive when it comes to business and money. Your fruit is also whether or not you had children that you didn't take care of. Shout out to my girl, the DoorDash driver. Mama says my twins graduated in June, and my daughter is scared of what her future looks like. While my husband sacrificed and sent all of his children to private school, she is aware that most parents haven't. Don't let her be scared. She should be confident. She should absolutely have confidence. Mr. Lai says people treat kids like sim characters. They don't even treat them as good as sim characters, my dog. Shout out to my dog, Mr. Lot. Mike the vet in the building says, bro, you ain't lying. What up, Mike? The Detroit Public Library main branch offers a completely free literacy program from adults focused on one-on-one reading and writing tutoring. It's no excuse. It ain't no excuse. It's so easy to go and get help. Brandon got back says, I used to hate reading until my mother put me on code with the family that I need to read 3 chapters a day. Now I'm a scholar working in IT federally. It's beautiful, bro. I love that. Chris So Serious says, I agree with you 100%. It matters what type of character your child have, not just how accomplished they are. Shout out to my dog, Chris. I appreciate you. Saturday Night Beater says, stay on that topic till views drop to 40 AD. Huh? So what views drop to 40? I don't even know what that means. Old A Jamaica says, Wagwan AD. I know your schedule is jammed, but 2 quick questions. Next stock club, can you teach us how to borrow against? Oh, man. Here we go. Borrow against and can you show us what you invest in? Yeah, I talk about that all the time. Absolutely. All right, cool. Oh, my God. Y'all want to borrow against yourselves? Now you playing a dangerous game. Glad I came across your channel. ID changed my mindset. What up, bro? How you feeling? We're your Samsung delivery partner. Once your product arrives, we'll contact you for delivery and tracking number. Let's see what this tracking number is. Estimated arrival. Call. Give me a second, y'all. Hey, I just got a notification. So your refrigerator, your microwave, your stove, your dishwasher, and all of that, it's gonna probably be here next week. So
Okay.
so I'll let you know what the delivery date is.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Chase Barnes says, AD and Peeps, AD, you need to bust out your Baby Yoda hat with all of these strange things and stories coming out lately. Yo, I don't know what's happening out here in these streets, bro. Honestly, I'm just as confused as everybody else. Let me just show some love to the people real quick. Give me a second. Shout out to my dog, Mike that dude. I appreciate you, Mike that dude, for holding me down. And also my dog, Spencer Campbell. What up, Spencer Campbell? Thank you and God bless you. John Teal, salute. What up, John Teal? I appreciate you. Mikey Surehand says, can't blame black kids for not wanting to focus in class. No kid wants to. Blame black parents for letting it slide. Responsibility, accountability. I agree with that 100%. I didn't know where you was going with that at first, but I agree with you. You can borrow against yourself. Hey, I'm a bag chaser. You holding out, AD. Well, here's the problem, Jay Dreamer. Here's the problem with that. The reason why I'm a little bit more cautious about borrowing against yourself and even talking about margin is because I think that is a greater responsibility. And I want people to first master understanding investing. I want people to master the discipline behind it. I want people to master the research before they start talking about borrowing against. You have to learn how to master the things first that is important, the fundamentals, before we start to talk about. Shout out to my dog, Courtney Egger. I appreciate you. Thank you for the Cash App. I think that we have to be careful, bro. We just got to be super careful, super duper careful about that. So that's why I'm cautious. You know what I'm saying? Very, very cautious. All right, y'all. Let's talk about, I guess we can go over to y'all want to go over to Minneapolis first? Or should we talk about the Lakers? Yeah, she do got a smart fridge and a microwave. Smart fridge and a smart microwave. That's true. I let her pick it, and she picked all of this smart stuff with these screens on it and stuff. I'm like, not necessarily my style, but yeah, it is like people trying to jump into options. I don't think they always ready for it.
An 11% property tax increase and cutting 100 city jobs. That's what Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says is necessary to balance the budget. Adam Stuckter shares his proposal and why council members say this budget won't come easy.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry says he knows his plan for the city's budget won't be popular. But police overtime, less workers downtown, and more have created a budget shortfall in the tens of millions.
It's about doing the hard things now. If we don't make difficult decisions today, those choices won't go away. They'll just become bigger and more difficult in years to come.
The proposal cut 100 or so city jobs and raise city property taxes more than 11%, adding $40 or so to the average monthly mortgage.
And I know these decisions will not be universally popular. In fact, I'm certain that the two biggest critiques of this budget will be that cuts are too deep or that they aren't deep enough.
The plan will need 7 council votes to pass in December.
It won't be easy. I have not booked my vacation that I usually take in December because I really do believe this is going to be the hardest one yet.
A council whose president says he's unimpressed by the proposal.
If you're going to make substantial cuts and have layoffs, it's really challenging to see both having to go through those hard choices and such a high number for the property tax levy.
Council members say Wednesday there's more they need to see, but say they're committed to agreeing upon and passing a budget before the end of the year, even if it means overriding a mayor's veto.
The job is to make the best decisions we can for the long-term health of Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis, Adam Duxter, WCCO.
What did I tell y'all was going to be happening city after city, state after state a long time ago? What did I tell y'all? Tonstradamus, every single prediction that I said is coming to fruition. It is coming to pass. I told y'all that every city first are going to try to plug the budget holes and the deficits by what? Raising property taxes and raising taxes on its citizens. I told y'all. Every single time that you see these Democrats or you see these liberals and socialists come through and they say, hey, listen, this is what we need. This is what we're going to do, whatever, so on and so forth. It always falls on the backs of the people that work and go to work every day, the middle class. You guys are going to be the ones that pay for every single mistake that they make. It's not going to be rich people. It's not going to be people with resources. It's not going to be the ones that understand how it works. It's not going to be any of that. It is going to be you. Every decision that they make is going to come on the backs of the middle class, lower middle class, middle class, upper middle class, working adults. Every single thing that you do, it is going to come on your back. So whenever they propose to tax the rich, or people need to pay their fair share, or that we need to get more of this, or we need to do more of these social services, or we need to have more police get the homeless off the street and all of this other stuff, right? Every single time, you're going to pay for it. They didn't tell you. And let me tell you what else happens after all of this happens, right? They finessing y'all like crazy. This is what else happens. Once they get it through, right? Because the city council is going to pivot and they're going to posture and they're going, oh my God, I canceled my vacation because it's going to be one of the hardest things ever. And this is not the end. I want y'all to understand this. This is not the end. They're not going to stop at 11%. It's going to be another 11%. And then it's going to be another 11%. And it may be a variation of an 11% the years after. It's going to be another 10%, and it's going to be another 12%, and it's going to be another 13%. It's going to be this. And they're not just going to lay off 100 people. They're going to lay off more than that. And whenever they do this, they have a projected budget deficit, meaning that the numbers, it's the same thing that I showed y'all in Chicago. When Brandon Johnson came back through and he said, hey guys, listen, I know that we said that the projected budget deficit was only going to be $1.6 billion. It's actually much worse. And I know that when y'all said that the schools was only short $734 million, that was a projection. That was an estimate. That was in anticipation of how much they thought that they were going to get. And it always falls short. And so the cuts have to go deeper, right? But when they push it through, you'll adapt because that's what we do as human beings, and they're counting on it. And not only do you adapt, you forget. Want me to give you an example? I'll give you an example. When people say, yo, Anton, why you holding Chicago accountable? Because I'm still pissed at Chicago. I got a vendetta against Chicago, Houston, Minneapolis, Denver, New York, Atlanta, all of these, Los Angeles, Milwaukee. I got major beef with every last one of those cities. You want to know why I have a vendetta against those cities? Because those were some of the most major cities that allowed for y'all tax dollars to go towards illegal migrants inside of the city. And so when they gave billions upon billions upon billions of dollars, and it wasn't just giving money to them, it wasn't just giving gas cards, it wasn't just allowing for them to drive, it wasn't just for helping them with housing, it wasn't just for subsidizing a living, it wasn't just for that. No. Not only that, we not even calculating the cost for police presence. We not calculating the cost of the burden on your school systems. We not calculating any of those costs. So billions of dollars of your local tax money went to these people, went to these places. And after the election, everybody forgot, but I didn't. And I never have, and I never will. Because they used your money to destroy your school systems, your safety, your systems, right? I never forgot that they instituted the Safety Act. I never forgot that whenever an illegal migrant got arrested for doing a crime, that they let them out immediately and they never held them accountable. And you know what pisses me off more than the fact that y'all are now paying for the gaps that they have inside of their budget is that you forgot why they had the gap in the first place. Is that they used your money, your taxpayer dollars, on people and things that didn't benefit you. And this is how they get you. Is because they're counting on you to have a short memory on things that they're no longer looking to be accountable for. So Karen Bass don't have to be accountable because she's probably going to win being mayor of Los Angeles again for all of the illegal migrants that they let inside of Los Angeles and all of the dollars that they spent and all of the monies that y'all took that was taken from y'all. And now your taxes is going to be higher. Because they know that you on your phone checking to see what was the new releases and who is doing what and who is busting down who for a real one. They know that you're going to forget. Listen, this conversation is going to be popular because I'm bringing it to the forefront and I know that nobody is covering it. Nobody's covering. Nobody is having a conversation. Zero people are having a conversation about Minneapolis raising property taxes 11%. Zero people. You, regular, everyday people. I've been to Minneapolis. Everyday people. Working, hustling, going to get it. Contributing into the rat race. Nobody is going to remember 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. That's the going rate. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Somebody brought something up to me last night. I was having a conversation with somebody. And somebody brought something up to me last night. And they said, man, remember this? Remember this? I said, yeah. And what did I say? They said, you said that 2 weeks from now, nobody would even care. That's why the decisions that I make, and even when I talk to y'all inside of the Patreon, the decisions that I make, I always tell y'all, every decision that you make, think about what it's going to impact you 10 years from now. Stay down for 10. Invest based off of what this company is going to be in 10 years, not what it's going to be tomorrow. When you pick a woman that's going to be in your life, pick a woman that you think is going to be able to be a good mother or is going to be a great mother to your children, or is this a person that you can see in your life for where you're going to be 10 years from now, not how you feel about them right now. Because then you're going to be calling me with a coaching call, and I'm going to be right here with a bigger show and a bigger platform, and I ain't going to have no time for you. Because I'm going to be doing multiple different shows. And you're going to be like, Anton, can I get a coaching call? And I'm going to say, why? And you're going to say, because the person that I picked, oh my God, I'm at this level and they still down here. And I said, well, remember when I told you that you have to choose somebody based off of where you going, not where you at. You have to choose. Every decision that I make is not based off of how people feel about me right now. Is whether or not I'm going to be right or wrong a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Every decision. Even when people come at me, right? Let's say people come at me and they got some negative stuff to say about me. I was talking to Miss Sanchez last night, and she was like, man, you really composed yourself and you held it together and you didn't lash out and you didn't go at people or whatever when they were saying this and they said that in certain situations or whatever. And I said, Miss Sanchez, I'm wise enough to know that the decision that I'm going to make today is not based off of what I feel at the moment. It's going to be made whether or not I feel good about the decision that I made once I look back at it a month from now. I've grown and I've matured to then have a completely different outlook on what my future is supposed to be. I'm focused on making a better decision in these plays that I'm making out here. I don't have to go back at you. I don't have to insult you. Yeah, okay, giggle, all of that type of, it reminds me of high school, right? It reminds you of high school. There were kids in high school, right, that would do certain things, and it seemed funny at the time, but I had the foresight to be able to say, yeah, that ain't gonna work out for them long term. I'm not gonna go into that situation. I'm straight. I'm good. No, you know what? I know we all going to school, but I'm not going to take out student loans. What? You're not going to go this semester in time because you don't want to take out student loan? Oh, man, you're going to miss out. God got a different plan for my life than what y'all talking about right here. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. Now, we in 2026 as of the recording of this live stream, and we got everybody and their mama complain, oh my God, look at my student loans. Oh, I paid $72,000 on my student loan and the balance is higher than when I started. And I just be looking like, I'll be doing the Birdman hand rub. I told people that's watching this show right now, hey man, they're not charging no interest on your student loans. You got a once in a lifetime opportunity to get from under this. Pay it now. People argue with me. No, I'm a wait and see it buy it and forgive mines, and I'm just gonna stack the money. I said, you're not gonna stack the money. You need to go ahead and take care of that. That's not gonna play out well for you, big dog. I talked to somebody a month ago. I said, hey, so I know you think I forgot, but what's going on with them student loans? Man, I should have listened to you. You think? You think? Duh. Of course you should have listened to me. Why wouldn't you listen to me? Oh, you think you bigger than the program. You think you smarter than the average bear. Got it. But that's what Democrats are going to depend on. They're depending on you to, and they know it's true. And they're right. That's the beautiful thing about it. They right. They right. They know that you forgot about illegal migrants coming into the country. They did the No Kings protest. We're going to protest against Tesla vehicles. Elon Musk richer than ever. Two weeks. You'll adjust. It's the same way as adjusting the bills. It's the same way as adjusting the bills. You know what happens? Some of y'all don't even remember what it's like to have a $100 or $200 car note. You know why? Because you so used to paying $700 and $800 now. That's just your normal now. You'll adapt. We're very resilient when it comes to adapting. We're very resilient when it comes to adapting. Now, that's y'all norm. They condition y'all to believe that you got to pay a car note for your phone. Y'all leasing phones now. So now, when you go to the store, you automatically trading in. I remember, let me tell you something. I remember when it was a big deal for there to be an announcement for a new device. But you know what people have gotten? They've gotten used to announcements. When Steve Jobs got on that stage and he had on that black turtleneck and them blue jeans and them white shoes looking like, y'all thought that was so cool. And he got on that screen and he was saying, this is the new iPhone. And everybody, oh my God. Now, y'all have just adapted. You're used to paying $1,500, $2,000 for the new device. They have conditioned you. Everybody need a new car. Nobody want to drive no old car. They have conditioned you to believe that you need a car in order to survive. And so when people say, oh man, my car note, my this, my that, my insurance, that's not normal. You're not supposed to have all of these bills. That's not supposed to be normal. But they have normalized in order for 30-year mortgages. It's regular for you to go and spend and buy a house, mortgage 30 years. That's normal. That's normal. Yeah, I'm about to go and buy a house. Is it your first house? Yeah, well, you only have to put down 3.5%. You can put down 20%, but then you have to pay PMI. They don't even have to advertise it no more. People tell people that they are supposed to get 30-year mortgages. I seen a woman that is 65 years old get a 30-year mortgage. You have a better chance of dying before you hit 95 years old and have that mortgage paid off. But they got to go buy a house, in quotation marks, buy a house. $30-year mortgage at 65 years old. A 30-year mortgage. I was talking to my daughter today. And I said, you're very blessed. Very, very blessed. Because she's so excited and she was giving me all of these design ideas. And instead of, let me show y'all some of the stuff she sent me, bro. This is her design idea for a chandelier. Instead of and I was like, you can do whatever you want to with your house. Instead of having a chandelier, this is what she want to do. She want to put a Silver Surfer. This is what she want. She sent me this and was like, yo, I'm about to get a custom Silver Surfer hanging down instead of getting a chandelier, and I'm going to put lights on the bottom of the surfboard. And so I was having a conversation with her, and I said, you know what? I said, you won already. She was like, I know. It's just now hitting me. Hello? Hey, what's going on? Who's this? Oh, what's going on? What's the word? I think I'm going to add 2 more vehicles. 2 extras. Yep, so I want 4 vehicles. Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, for the most part, and then, guests. Okay. 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 So you doing that today? The cars today? Okay, cool. All right, my friend. Okay, bye. I was telling her and I said, "You very blessed, right?" And she said, "I know." And she got super excited. I said, "Do you know that most people's goal, A, is to buy a house, and the B, before they retire, get it paid off? A, to buy a house, and then to B, get it paid off before they retire." I said, "You already won. You already won at life." And then I told her the scripture, because everything that we have a conversation about, I always follow it up with scripture. And I said, one of my number one priorities was to make sure that you had a house. Amongst anything was to make sure you had a house. And I said, and the word of God says that we are to leave our children an inheritance, that we are to bless them with an inheritance. We're not supposed to leave them with debt. We're not supposed to be putting them in school so that they have student loans. We're not supposed to be doing any of that type of stuff. Even if it's a small house, we are supposed to be giving them an opportunity to be better than the generations before. And I said, over time, you're going to change styles. You can do whatever you want. Silver Surfer, all of this type of stuff. I said, but the blessing comes. I said, you thank God. I said, don't even thank me. Thank God of what time you was born in and the opportunities that come along with whatever it is that you got going on.
Decisions we can for the long-term health of Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis, Adam Duxter, WCCO News.
St. Paul also has problems. The city is facing a $26 million budget shortfall. Mayor Kelly Herr said systemic issues are to blame.
The city of Minneapolis is set to raise property taxes and lay off roughly 100 city workers in an attempt to balance the budget for the upcoming year. The city says it's running on a $30 million deficit. We're told that deficit comes from a massive police overtime payout and declining revenue from downtown properties. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry just outlined the details for next year's budget in front of city staff in downtown Minneapolis. Our Adam Duxter was there. Adam, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Shayla, and we just wrapped up speaking with Mayor Fry a moment ago. He says he knows that these cuts are not going to be universally popular, but he says he knows they are necessary in order to balance that budget. He told us without doing anything, that budget will only continue to increase in terms of a gap, reaching $60 million shortfall numbers by 2027. So he says, well, these won't be popular decisions. They're ones that need to happen right now. Now, that budget proposal for next year totals more than $2 billion. And to pay for that, the city is proposing an 11.3% increase to property taxes, which if you're a median value homeowner, that'll cost you about $409 a year or $34 a month. It is one of the largest single-year property tax increases in some time here in the city of Minneapolis. The mayor also says they're going to plan to cut 100 positions from city government under this proposal. He says many of those positions were supported by grants, one-time funding, or temporary contracts. He also told us a minute ago that he knows many of those positions are still unfilled or are held by people who are soon to retire. He says he knows these decisions won't be popular, but they're necessary for the city's long-term health.
There are programs worth protecting. There are taxpayers carrying a very heavy burden. Both of those things can be true at the same time. So the job isn't to satisfy one side or the other. The job is to make the best decisions we can for the long-term health of Minneapolis. And in that, I hope we can find common ground, working together to arrive at 2 years from today.
I'm going to tell you what I would do if I was ever mayor of a city. I'm cutting all costs. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And it's so funny because when I was looking at Did y'all hear what they tried to slide in at the end of this other conversation? Did y'all hear it? What they said with St. Paul? Because it's the Twin Cities. It's St. Paul and it's Minneapolis. Check this out.
In Minneapolis, Adam Duxter, WCCO News.
St. Paul also has problems. The city is facing a $26 million budget shortfall. Mayor Kelly Herr said systemic issues are to blame.
Systemic, they're using the same talking points. Systemic issues are to blame. It's a system. It's systemic. They're not going to be specific. They're not. You know what? It's systemic issues that are to blame. If I was to ever become mayor of any of these cities, my number one, actually, I'll tell you, it don't matter. Eventually, I will run for mayor. Eventually, I'll probably become a governor. Who knows? One day I may even become president of the United States of America. My four pillars is going to be as such. Number one, education. Education. That is going to be one of the number one agenda items. It is education. Number two, public safety. Nobody wants to live in a place where they can't walk down the street, and we are going to drive the crime to zero. Zero. We're not going to reduce it. We're not going to try. No. If you commit a crime, we are going to deploy the full force of the police department to find you, catch you, and we are going to advocate for. I am going to push for a prosecutor that will try to give you the maximum sentence for whatever violent crime you commit. Education, public safety, infrastructure. Infrastructure is very important. I'm not even going to, deep dive into that. And my fourth pillar is to reduce every single tax that you can possibly find that is putting people at a disposition and is lowering the quality of life. Those would be my four pillars. It would be so simple. Education, public safety, infrastructure, no more taxes. Everything that we would be doing, it would truly be a free market. I think that, honestly, we should have less city council members. I think that we should have less everything. I would focus my every single energy will be focused on trying to reduce every cost as much as possible to zero outside of those three things. We got to make sure that we take care of education. We got to make sure that we take care of infrastructure, and we got to make sure that we do public safety. Everything else is off the table. I'm cutting social services. I'm keeping it 100 with you. If I ever become a leader of any municipality, I'm cutting social services. It's dead. Sales taxes, we're reducing it. Property taxes, we're going to try to reduce that to zero by driving out the costs that the government itself is spending. I don't think that city government should be able to benefit, and I'm not going to take a salary. And I'm not taking no salary. I don't think I should take a salary. No more city cars. Ain't none of that. We not doing that. Ain't no big old police force that's protecting you. You ain't even that important. Ain't nobody checking for you, Willis. You ain't the president. You just a mayor. You're a mayor. You're a mayor. Why do you have a whole convoy? Ain't no more city cars. You're going to be just like the regular people that got a job. If you work for the government or if you work for the city, then you drive your car or you can take public transportation like anybody else. We cutting every single cost. Every cost that we can find, we going to go in there with a fine-tooth comb. We auditing. We going to criticize every city contract. We going to criticize every single thing. Instead of us putting money and maintenance into the parks, in order to reduce the amount that we charge in the corporate America, we're going to ask them to adopt. Hey, listen, you're a great corporate citizen. We don't want to tax you. We actually want you to grow the tax base here. We would love for you to bring more employees into the city. But in return, can you also adopt a park? Can you adopt a park? That would be significantly lower than what it is that they're trying to get up out of you right now. It would be great advertisement for you as a company. You already got that baked into your budget of what it is that you're doing. Let's allocate that towards something else. I'm telling you, that would be my number one goal. Number one goal. If you get arrested and you wind up going to jail, you got to go out here and do community service. Ain't no sitting in jail. What, you just chilling? Nah, homie. Nope. You're going to be painting streets. You're going to be laying concrete. You're going to be working on infrastructure projects. You're going to be picking up trash. You're going to be doing all. We don't need no city workers to be going out here picking up trash. We got you. You committed a crime. Listen. You committed a crime. You're going to be working every day. Every day. We want you on the street. We want you out here. We don't need to do all of that. You're going to be cleaning up parks. You're going to be working at schools. You're going to be doing everything. You got to work. You got to work. You have to work. You commit a crime, you got to work. You have to work 100%. Ain't no sitting in jail. You ain't got time you ain't got to worry about nobody going out there and taking your. Are we back yet? That's my bad. That's actually my bad. I hit the button. I hit the button by mistake. I literally had cut my whole computer off by mistake. That was my bad. That is 100% my fault. I did that. That is not the system. That is not YouTube. I hit the button. I hit the power button for the thing down there. So that's 100% my fault. Is my mic loud? Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Let me get that back right. I done messed everything up. Hold on. Sorry. All right. Is the mic back regular now? I had to reset um the mixer in order to get things. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. The audio was off. I did that. That is my mistake. I have to take full responsibility for it. But let me get back to my plans because it doesn't matter, right? And if somebody steal my plans, we just gonna call them out. But I am 100% going to implement and take care of business when it comes to everybody working. I believe prisoners are supposed to be working. I believe that they're supposed to be working. I think that they're supposed to be cleaning up the streets. I think that they're supposed to be painting the roads. I think that they should be doing potholes. I think that they should be cleaning up the parks. I think that they're the ones that should be doing all of the things that you know. We don't need none of that. We don't need all of this other stuff. We got prisoners. We got prisoners, bro. We got YNs. 100%. You mean you get to just sit in prison and chill? I got rehabilitation for you, big dog. Somebody said, AD, what if these contractors don't want to negotiate? Which contractors? What contractors? They do. They should be building high-speed railroads across the nation. What contractors? Somebody said that comes with a lot of structure, though, big dog. Bro, what we have been doing up to this point is not working. What we have been doing up to this point is not working. Somebody says, I think that would be inhumane for 2026. So wait a minute. You think it's inhumane for somebody that has committed a crime to pay their debt to society by going outside and doing actual work? Somebody says, well, you have to do major and hiring spree for COs and POs to watch and protect the public from these inmates who are working outside. That's cool. But we saving money by not having to do it ourselves and not having to pay people to do it ourselves. They go in, let me tell you something, bro. When these dudes get arrested and they go to jail and stuff, they look at it as cool. They don't make it a big deal. Oh man, I get to chill. I got some friends in there. All of that type of stuff. Nah, bro, we not doing that no more. We not doing that no more, bro. Nope. People not afraid to go to prison no more because they feel like it's gonna be all right. Bro, I got so many ideas, bro. Those are the basics. I have so many ideas. So many ideas. So many ideas. I would completely remove TVs. I would remove iPads. I would remove all of that stuff. If you're not out working at the time that you go back into jail when you're not sleeping, you got to study. You got to study. You got to be in school. You got to be taking care of business. And that's true rehabilitation. You work and then you read. You work, read, and then we gonna indoctrinate you too. We making you go to church. Because you got to get character development, you got to work, right? And then you have to be a productive member of society when you get out. No more TVs, we only doing books, and we doing physical books. No iPads, no digital, no none of that. Physical books, church, and work. That's all you do. Ain't no days off. 7 days a week. Physical books, work, and church. Books, work, and church. That's it. That's it. That's what I would do. That's what we need to rethink what prison looks like, what jail look like, all of that, bro. Who got a problem with what it is that I said? Somebody says some people are just bad seeds. Nah, they just haven't had the discipline of a father in their life to get back on track. But we got it. We got it. We're going to teach you a skill for those inmates that know how to do things the right way. We're going to teach you a skill. We're going to teach y'all how to be electricians. We're going to teach y'all how to be plumbers. We're going to teach y'all how to do all of the maintenance for a lot of these different. We're going to teach y'all how to lay concrete. We're going to teach y'all excavation. We're going to have y'all working on infrastructure. We're going to have you replacing sewer lines. We're going to have you doing all of the things. We're going to teach y'all how to plant trees, flowers. We're going to have you shoveling snow. We're going to have you doing it all. You're going to be landscapers. You're going to be millwrights. You're going to be doing all of that, bro. You're going to be chefs. Y'all going to learn how to cook effectively. You're going to grow your own food. You're going to learn how to plant. You're going to do everything. I don't know what the pushback would be. You're going to do volunteer work. You're good. We don't need social services. We got prisoners. They can help the homeless people. And it ain't gonna be no and let me tell you what else I would do. I would completely change prison food. You would just get porridge. It would just be I'm dead serious. It would be just like the movies. Whereas, like, I don't know if y'all ever seen The Matrix and they had the porridge and it had everything that they needed inside of it. I want to make prison productive, uncomfortable, and rehabilitate. And so you would get every single nutrient that you need in this porridge, and that would be it. You would get what you needed. All of the amino acids, all of the protein you need would be right in there in that porridge, and that's it. Ain't no more. Because you don't need to want to come. I don't want you to come back here. I want to make it incredibly uncomfortable for you to be here. Whatever you don't grow, whatever is a bad crop, y'all get porridge instead. You want a vegetable? Grow it. If not, you get porridge. They treat prisoners better than they treat the military sometimes. Somebody say, I pray you never become warden. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna become a mayor. I'm gonna be a governor. I'm gonna do all of that. It's gonna be different. Listen, there's some parts of Michigan that gonna go. We gonna embrace Alabama. We gonna embrace parts of Mississippi. We gonna embrace parts. We gonna look at all the different places, and we gonna take what's good from this place and what's good from that place, and we gonna implement it. We're going to implement it. We don't need nobody to clean the freeways. We got prisoners. What we need somebody to clean the freeways for? What you need a freeway cleaner for? We got prisoners. We're going to cut costs, and we're going to put these motherfuckers to work. Somebody said, I know jails that do hot meals. Hold on, let me see what you said. I know jails that give one hot meal a day and two others are cold, be it peanut butter jelly or a meat sandwich, and that's how. Oh, no. It's one time. You eat once a day. Once a day, bro. Honest to God, once a day. Get it all in. The rest of the day, we fasting. We going on intermittent fasting for the rest of the day. You eat once a day. That's it. You can have as much water as you want. Ain't no commissary. Ain't no Coke. Ain't no noodles. Ain't no special services. Ain't no Snickers. Ain't no smoking. Ain't no moonshine. Ain't none of that. You get one meal a day, and we doing intermittent fasting the rest. We say why do taxpayers got to pay for that, all of that extra stuff? One meal a day. No cornbread, no nothing, bro. No nothing. No nothing, bro. No nothing. And let me say this too. Let me add this one caveat and then we're going to move into the Lakers. Let me say this too. There will be no discrimination. Women will do the same things. Women will work the same way that the men work, except for we're going to, not the same way, but they will be out working too. They will be the ones, they will be janitors. They will clean up the bathrooms overnight at the schools. They will take out trash. They will be the ones that make the porridge. They will be planting vegetables. They will be out doing the same things. The women will absolutely be grinding. They will be hustling. They will be going to get it. They will be making it work. They will be making it shake. 100%. That's the honest to God truth. They will plant trees. They will make the city beautiful. They will take out trash. They will be the whole thing. Somebody said, now you're never getting elected. Now you'll be surprised. People want it. People want it. People want that. And I think that we should also simplify. I think that one of the things that blows the budget up of the state and of the cities and these counties is I think that the judicial system is too bloated. I think we need to change that. We need to expedite and get people processed immediately. Because we need to get these lights fixed inside of the city, right? All of this waiting, all of this stuff or whatever, nah. Nope. We need to get people prosecuted. We need to expedite the prison sentences, all of this type of stuff. Ain't no just waiting. Now let's get to it. I think we need to fix that. Man, there's some fundamental things that I think that we just need to fix in society. Fundamental things that I think that we need to fix in society, bro. 100%. If I was governor, honestly, I would have to try to work with legislation to introduce the reduction of relying on government services. You got a kid, you got to take care of your kid. Nope, no more WIC, no more women and children advocating for abolishing all of that shit. No more WIC, no more none of that. Honestly, I believe in getting rid of that. We can save a lot of money, reduce people's taxes. We can start to eliminate property taxes if we stop relying on a system that subsidizes bad behavior. We need to increase the pay for police officers. We need to reduce the pay for government officials. And I think that most of these positions, when it comes to government officials, should be volunteer with a stipend. And I think we need to remove the money out of politics. Volunteering with a stipend. You get a budget to be able to feed yourself. You can get a budget to be able to do this and do that. But we need people that truly want to work for the people, and not people that are looking to get rich off of the hands of public services. If you want to get rich, then go and get a fucking job or start a business. I don't know. Y'all say I'm radical. I think I'm reasonable. I don't think that this is radical, bro. I don't think that anything that I'm saying is radical. Somebody said, how would you market that to lower informed voters? To the lower informed, the same way that I'm talking to you right now? The same way that I'm talking to you right now. Somebody said good teachers should get incentivized to get better results instead of pushing it. Honestly, I would like to see the education system change. I would like to remove how we fund schools. I would like to remove standardized testing. Let me stop. Anyways, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I see this got y'all going. Y'all feeling some type of way about this. I think we need to increase the amount that we pay teachers, the amount that we pay police officers. I think we need to change standardized testing. I think that we need to change the way that we educate children. And I think that there needs to be a hybrid system once you get into high school, and not just and I also think that we need to separate the boys from the girls. I don't like the idea that we have co-ed. I think that the boys should be in a certain school and the girls should be in a certain school. The boys should be in a certain school and the girls should be in a certain school. And there needs to be a hybrid system. There needs to be a hybrid system. I think that we need to promote and push for more people. When we need to have better guidance counselors to identify when people need to join the military, to guide people on where their strengths are. The whole 9 yards. The whole 9 yards. Man, listen, bro. Listen. We need to have stronger ROTC systems. We need to be training kids and allowing for them to be able to get credit. And we need to be having some of our kids go into skilled trades. We need to have some of our kids going into mechanics. We need to be training on AI. We need to be having them, have real life, real world application of the skill set that they're learning. Kids will be more interested in math if they have the opportunity to really understand how it's implemented in real life. People would be more interested in math if you could teach them how to implement it in real life. If you're just teaching it in a textbook, you can't do that. But if you're implementing it in real life, then they're more receptive to it. Especially with AI. Am I saying anything that's crazy to y'all? Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Watch. Don't worry. Don't worry. I promise you. I promise you. That is the longer term view. That is the longer term view. I think that we need to make school fun, bro. Honestly. We need to have a portion of the school, or I'm sorry, a portion of the time that we're having our children in school to allocate towards the fundamentals. And then the second, the other 2/3 of school need to be implementation. They need to be doing. They need to be working. They need to be doing stuff with their hands. Honestly, bro. And no phones. And I would ban phones from being in school. No phones. No phones. When you come into school, you put it in that same pouch that Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart use. When you go into the to their show, and when you leave out of school, you can get it out. No more phones in school. We're not having no phones. I will completely remove phones from school. If you want to get in touch with your kid, then you contact the office like they used to do it back in the day. It worked just fine. There was no problems. Ain't nothing important enough for you to have to contact your kid while they're in school. Let me educate y'all on something really quickly, all right? I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Everything that I'm saying, for example, outside of the phone part, because I don't know, I haven't been to school, obviously, in a while. When I was in private school, right? You had UAD Jesuit, and then you had Mercy, right? Mercy is the girls' school. UAD Jesuit was the boys' school. And one of the things that they did this thing called candlelight. Candlelight was like prom. Do y'all think that those boys had I took a girl to candlelight. Do y'all think that at any point that any of these boys and any of these people, because you know how the guys met the girls, you know how they was able to interact with them? Sporting events. Whenever somebody would play, right, when Country Day or UAD Jesuit or whatever would play each other, that's when people actually met. They had to talk to each other. They had to interact with each other. And so those are the type of girls that you wind up getting in contact with, but you didn't have access to them all day, every day during class. People wasn't acting up because we was there to learn. We wasn't distracted by the women, and by the girls, and the girls wasn't distracted by the boys. So when you went to events, right? When you went to the sporting events or when you did the meetups, that's when the girls and the boys would interact with each other. And then that's when you would interact with the girl and you wind up, connected with them. And then you wind up taking them to events or you wind up going to candlelight or whatever and all of that other type of stuff. It was perfect. Private schools are already doing the very things that I'm telling y'all right now. Everybody that's pushing against this don't understand that it's already successfully been proved and implemented. This is not something that I'm coming up with that's radical or it changed. Oh man, no, Anton, don't. They're doing it already. They're doing it already. They are doing it successfully already, except for rich people are paying for it. Rich people are paying for this already. So if you're trying to figure out, okay, well, what works and why is our school system broken, then why are we not literally mimicking the things that's already working in other cultures and other communities where people have resources already? I'm not saying nothing that's crazy. I was looking at a video where the kids was recording, all right, what you got on for school today? Your first week of school, your first day of school. They all had Go-Yard bags and all of the girls had baby hairs and they had their hair done. They was more concerned about fashion than they was about actually pulling up to school. When we had to pull up to school, the most fashion that you can have is whether you had a polo shirt on or you had a regular white shirt on. Because everybody had to wear a collar. Everybody had to learn how to tie a tie. Everybody had to wear slacks. Everybody had to wear dress shoes. You couldn't have no sneakers, right? You had to be groomed. You had to learn how to tie a tie. And if you came to school without a tie, you had to go to the office and get a tie and return it back by the end of the day. I'm not saying anything that's not crazy. Y'all talking about phones. Do y'all know that rich people and a lot of these private schools ban you from being able to use your phone? Do y'all know that they're putting their kids in schools without the technology so that they can learn the fundamentals and operate like regular human beings? I'm not saying anything that's radical. I'm telling you how they're implementing this inside of these schools. And so why are we not mimicking that? Why are we not implementing the very same things that they are implementing in our school systems? You can't just pull up with whatever it is that you want to pull up with. You gotta actually be meeting the expectation. And trust me, if you can walk around with a go yard bag on, you can definitely get you some slacks and a dress shirt. And the 2 times a year, if we raise enough money for the homeless people because we had to do volunteer work, 2 times a year, you had the opportunity to wear jeans. It was crazy. People was so, because the opportunity to finally wear regular clothes was like, wait a minute, you got 2 times a year that you showed up for that you could wear regular clothes. It was a reward. And we didn't even realize how important it was or how meaningful it was because we had to pull up in them slacks every day. That's why when I wound up going to Cass Tech in high school, I wasn't wearing Jordans. I was Kenneth Coles, Gucci loafers, because my brothers was getting, my brothers was grown. Gucci loafers, Kenneth Coles. I wore sweaters. I wore polo pullovers. I wore polo shirts. I wore Dockers. I was wearing Dockers and polo slacks when I went to school. I wasn't dressing like we was Kanye West in it back in the 90s. We was Kanye West, the backpacks with the polo pullovers and all of that. We was that in the 90s. That's how we was rocking in the 90s, bro. We wasn't wearing the same thing that everybody else was wearing, but part of it came from how we was forced to dress in middle school. We didn't care about no Jordans. We was fresh. Yep, hush puppies. Nah, we wasn't 10-minute up. We was fresh as hell. We was fresh as hell in school, bro. I think I want to but hey, Joe Gunn, I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. When I was coming up, I always thought Carlton was fresher than Will. I always thought Carlton was fresher than Will when I was growing up. I never thought that Will was fresher than Carlton, bro. I always thought Carlton was way fresher with the polo jacket and all of that stuff and the penny loafers. I never thought Will was fresh. I always thought Carlton was the one. When Will would turn his jacket on the inside out, I was like, oh no, Carlton is the fresh one. I always felt like Carlton was fresh. Carlton had a fresher fade. His hair was tighter. His gear was fresher. Carlton was smoking Will when it came to his style. See, you said Will had that shit. I guess it just came from different cultures. I never thought Will was touching Carlton. I said Carlton is smoking Will. At the very least, our boys need to learn how to tie a tie, bro. Yes, Carlton smoked Will. Carlton smoked Will when it came to the way that he dressed. Destroyed Will with the way that he dressed. Let me pull it up. Y'all wrong. 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 Y'all so wrong. Y'all so wrong. Carlton. Man, Carlton killed on the Fresh Prince. Look at the difference between Carlton and Will. I'm going to show a picture right now. I'm about to pull it up. Because I got one with Carlton and Will in the same picture. You telling me that Will was fresher than Carlton? You smoking crack. You're smoking crack. Ain't no way in the world that you telling me that Will was fresher than Carlton. Never. Never, ever. Nope. Not even a little bit. I'm trying to find pictures with them both in there together. Nah. Nope. Carl was fresher than Will 10 times out of 10, bro. 10 times out of 10, Carlton was fresher than Will. In every episode. Whoever was styling Carlton was smoking it. Man, Will dressed like a clown. I got to put in both of their names. Let me see something. Carlton and Will. Man, look at Carlton. Carlton got this nigga boot smoked. Boot smoked. Carlton got this nigga in a chokehold, bro. Every day. Why they keep showing me pictures of this new Fresh Prince? I don't want to see no new Fresh Prince. Look at these niggas, bro. Look at this. Man, get out of here with that, man. Carlton was smoking Will in every way, shape, or form. In every way, shape, or form, Carlton was smoking Will's boots out. Nah. Carlton had Will beat. 1,000%. Maybe not with the White Sox, but outside of the White Sox, why do they got all of these new pictures? I can't find none of the old stuff. Man, look how fresh Carlton is, bro. Look how fresh Carlton is, bro. Look how fresh Carlton was, man. Nope. Carlton had Will smoke from day one. From the time they met all the way to the other time. Look at this. Look at this, man. Look at the gear. Picture after picture. Picture after picture. Picture after picture. Carlton had Will smoked. His pajamas was even fresher. See, you see? His tuxedo was fresher. Why does Will have on Jordans with his tux, bro? And he don't even have on no tie. Yeah, I'm going with Carlton, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going with Carlton, bro. He fresher. Just straight up and down. In every way, shape, or form, he fresher than Will. No, they didn't have the same tux on. Will had that one with the single collar. He don't even have. Will got on Jordans. The bottom of his tux is baggy, and he got on that one single collar thing, bro. That choker. Nah. Nope. He was wearing. Look at the tank top. Get out of here with that, bro. Nah. Yeah, Carlton smoked Will all day long. All day long. Anyways, you know what I'm thinking about streaming tomorrow morning? I'm thinking about streaming tonight on the street. Maybe not streaming, maybe recording. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a stream popping. I don't know if I have the battery life. Let me ask y'all a question before we I think I'm gonna stream tomorrow morning. But also on top of that, I don't know if I got the battery. I don't know how to stream in the streets with the battery life. Should I just record it? I think I'm gonna just record it and chop it up. Trying to think. Maybe I need to buy one of them backpacks where it get all day battery life. I think I'm gonna just record it. So I might hit the streets tonight and just record, and then I'll maybe do a live stream on this weekend. The Meta glasses die fast, bro. I got some Meta glasses. And when you record out in the street and you don't have no good Wi-Fi connection, that junk be looking trash. I be looking at people's street stuff and they be having trash, bro. Somebody says Skylink. I got a Skylink, but the problem with Skylink is that it's still got to be plugged up into something. So what I could do is I can go and get my Cybertruck. I can go and get my Cybertruck, and I can plug the Skylink into my Cybertruck maybe, and use it as a power source. Somebody said it's Friday, AD. Give yourself a break. Let me tell you something, bro. I love this shit. I love this shit. Real talk. I don't look at this as, I mean, I work my ass off, but if I wind up doing something else, it's because I still love it. I love this shit. That's what I do, man. I love it. I love everything about what I do, man. Yeah, make me tired. Yeah, I be hustling. Yeah, I be grinding. But this shit is, man, look, bro. I love what I do. So we'll figure it out. It's Starlink. Yeah, Starlink. I think I got one here. Starlink there? Yeah, I got one here. I got one here, boss. That's the beautiful thing about having a studio is that you got all of the gadgets, all of the gizmos, and all of the whizmos. So, am I going back to room 9? I will be, yes, but with a different show for now. Yes, but with a different show for now. So, anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to hold me down. I think I lost some of my super chats when I lost my connection. Wesley Turner says, Mayor Anton, that ain't even how you spell my middle name. A. Linnell Daniels, a city sweeper, putting prisoners to work to build cities they terrorize, have ICE and Tom Homan on speed dial. That's a fact. Completely dismantle all prison gangs too. Facts. Laymar on air says you might have the antidote, bro, because what's going on in Atlanta and Chicago is wild. The crime is disgusting. Mr. Lott says instead of the Daniels fast, it's the Daniels fast. Shout out to you. Moses Prophet says sounds like a utopia. I hope you become president. Keith Perry says believe me when I say it's a small world we live in. Because the first girl y'all reviewed on Room 9 last night, Ariel J, is my ex from years ago. The relationship didn't even, really? What? That's crazy. You had a crazy ex, bro. Wesley Turner says AD kids would be more interested in math if you can teach them to understand that math literally is the foundation of what builds our future. Dark skin Ken says we need to take from China and Japan school systems. They borderline choose the fields the kids go in based on their abilities. Imagine that. AR is back, says shout out to Brother Rice and Loyola. What you know about Brother Rice? What you know about Brother Rice? We kick Brother Rice ass. Marlo Reed says we need fresh ideas. We need new fresh ideas, not the old ideas that never work. They low key. They know these old ideas don't work. That's because they're looking at y'all kids as commodities. Carlton had that grown man gear on. That's a fact. All right, y'all. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know. I'll let y'all know inside of the Discord if I wind up streaming tomorrow. But I'm gonna be in the streets tonight capturing that footage for y'all. Then we're gonna go from there. All right. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.